it's a currency.
Oh, good answer, man. I tell you, you've done your homework, Jimmy. Okay, there's a lot of speculation on the price of XRP after it becomes regulated, after regulatory clarity. Where do you feel that XRP, just based on your honest opinion, is going to hit, say, a month after regulation?
Yeah. So we believe that the last domino to fall on regulation right now is the SEC lawsuit, and that could be resolved in a variety of ways, but it could also be resolved in regulation coming in over the top. We know it's imminent, though, right? So when I say imminent, I would be surprised if a quarter from now we're really still embroiled in the SEC lawsuit, because I think the state of affairs throughout the world is such that we're going to need a solution like an XRP for liquidity purposes sooner rather than later. So the question is then, okay, we've magically resolved it. Where does the price go? It's easy to project that it's a double-digit number. So I think it immediately shoots up to a $10, potentially $20. The wild card to me is that there is actually a deal to be done among the central banks and governments to basically have XRP work as the world's bridge currency, a neutral asset that can be traded between the central banks to move a specific type of fiat to another type of fiat. If that's what occurs, it's back to what we were discussing earlier. It's got to cover kind of all the money. And I think you're looking at a range that XRP would settle on agreement. So this would happen instantaneously, somewhere between $10,000 and $35,000 a coin. And our lives will be, maybe the same, maybe different. I don't know. Probably a little different.
I think it'd be a little different, and it's just so
XRP will be a world reserve currency. Here is why. U.S. debt is growing rapidly. The amount of public debt owed by the U.S. government is now more than $22 trillion. This is the highest it has ever been, and as the debt rises, the government continues to spend and tax revenues continue to fall. Despite being in the second longest economic expansion since the post-World War II boom, the U.S. is projected to rack up annual deficits and incur national debt at rates not seen since the 1940s, reported NPR. In fact, in its Budget and Economic Outlook, 2019 to 2029, the Congressional Budget Office reported that other than the period immediately after World War II, the only other time the average deficit has been so large over so many years was after the 2007 to 2009 recession. By 2029, debt is estimated to reach $28.7 trillion, said the CBO report. This is in addition to the current $5.5 trillion that the government owes to itself via intergovernmental holdings. Rising debt is also a global problem. According to USDebtClock.org, Japan's public debt is nearly $12 trillion, China's is over $9 trillion, the UK is $3.5 trillion, and so forth. The bottom line is that this level of debt is growing worldwide and is not sustainable. In February, Federal Reserve Board Chairman Jerome Powell told Congress that federal government debt is on an unsustainable path. He also noted that the idea that deficits don't matter for countries that can borrow in their own currency, I think, is just wrong. Although the Fed chairman has publicly testified to the unsustainable nature of this massive public debt, there doesn't seem to be any movement to solving the problem. Instead, politicians from both parties seem to be moving in the opposite direction. Republicans in Congress and the White House have passed massive tax cuts and increases to defense spending. Democrats in Congress are pushing for their own increased spending through approaches like the New Green Deal. Given the national debt situation, this doesn't make sense, unless there's a plan that we don't yet know about. Introducing a new world reserve currency. Wikipedia describes a reserve currency as currency that is held in significant quantities by governments and institutions as part of their foreign exchange reserves. The reserve currency is commonly used in international transactions, international investments, and all aspects of the global economy. It is often considered a hard currency or safe haven currency. People who live in a country that issues a reserve currency can purchase imports and borrow across borders more cheaply than people in other nations, because they do not need to exchange their currency to do so. XRP is perfectly positioned to serve as a world reserve currency. It can be held in significant quantities to provide liquidity for foreign exchange reserves, international transactions and investments, and all other uses throughout a global economy. In an earlier article, XRP was designed for $10,000. I quoted Ripple Labs co-founder Arthur Berto, who wrote, XRP must be scalable to accommodate 7.5 billion people. Does this mean that it was designed to be used by every human on the planet and to serve as a world reserve currency? Yes and yes. Let's look at XRP's ability to scale. At its creation, a total of 100 billion XRP were created. No more can ever be created, so it is deflationary in nature. Setting aside the fact that some of these XRP have been burned or lost, 100 billion XRP at a $10,000 value per XRP would provide $1 quadrillion in total value. This is enough to easily account for the $244 trillion global debt, Bloomberg, as well as $88 trillion global GDP, Statista. By its very nature, XRP is highly liquid, with fast transaction and settlement times. It is also inexpensive to use. If it is used as a de facto reserve currency, there is no need to exchange it for fiat currency, though this is also easy to do across multiple currencies and payment networks via the Interledger Protocol, ILP. So, what is the secret that the politicians, non-governmental organizations, and major financial institutions might have been hiding from us? XRP will be a world reserve currency, and it will be used to pay off debt. It will solve the debt crisis without devaluing fiat currencies. For example, the US government, and other governments, could buy XRP at very low OTC rates, which wouldn't drive prices up on the retail exchanges. Likewise, major financial institutions could also stock up on XRP at extremely attractive prices. When all systems, policies, and agreements are in place, they simply announce that XRP will serve as a reserve currency. This drives utility and demand, which rapidly increases the price of XRP. The governments could then settle their debts using XRP, which would not devalue their fiat, because they would not be printing any additional dollars or other fiat currencies. This would explain why the US administration, the IMF, and the World Bank have been so positive about Ripple Labs, XRapid, and XRP. It would also explain why the SEC and other federal agencies have not yet weighed in on XRP's status as a security or other type of asset. It would also explain why the price of XRP has been very steady at a low price for more than 15 months, despite a constant stream of positive news about partnerships, production deals, and so forth. My prediction is that we will see such an announcement within the next 24 months, followed by significant, sustained price growth for XRP over the course of a decade or more. What do you think? Disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor, just a cryptocurrency enthusiast who is convinced that distributed ledger technology, DLT, blockchain, and other technologies are the future of all financial transactions. I am especially keen on XRP. Do not use this as financial advice, because I might be wrong. Do your own research, consult financial experts, and make your own investment decisions.
How to be a successful investor? The answer is stay with what you know. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to TV people, internet people. Just stay with what you know. If I told you you can only have 20 investments in your life, you would be very careful. You wouldn't be jumping in and out, listening to hot tips every day, every month. You would stay with what you know, and you would become a successful investor. Everybody watching this knows a lot about something, whether it's fashion or cars or sports or something. When you see something that you know is going to be successful and exciting, don't just say, oh, that's going to be great. Don't tell all you. Then you go and you do your research and you figure out how to and if you should invest and how to invest, and then you invest. You will know it long before I will, or long before other people in the investment community. You will also know when to sell, because you will know when something's going to change again. Nobody likes to hear it. Everybody wants a hot tip. Everybody wants to be rich this month. In those days, we did nothing but focus and concentrate and dig deep and dig deep and dig deep.